Here I am in the last field we planted this year. That was May 13th. Today is May 29th. We got all the emergence flagging kits out here in this field. We got a kit here, and we got one in a popcorn field that was planted in a bunch of wheat straw and a little too wet. So this is a corn on corn field, and then that other field, two of our toughest conditioned fields this year. So that's where I really wanted to test. What we're doing this year is we have precision planting FurrowForce on half the planter, and we've got the OEM closing tails with cast pike closing wheels on the other side. So I'm using the flagging kits to compare those two things. So let's see what we got out in this corn on corn field. So as far as the total emergence goes, this is the cast spike closing wheel side. Planted 33,000 out here in the corn on corn. There is 28 plants out here. This was the day 4 I added just today, even though this is more like day 7 or 8, I think, but I'll add it there. This guy came out. He's a little bigger than just coming up today, but I can tell it kind of just unfurled. It was stuck under the soil, so it did come out though. We've been very, very dry since we finished planting. It's getting drier all the time. We're going to be in the mid to high 80s all week this week. No sign of rain in the 10-day forecast. Haven't had any rain for maybe 2 weeks now, so it's getting drier and drier. There is the FurrowForce side. We've got 31 out of 33 emerged over there, and I also added a day 4 right over there. It's not really day 4, I just saw it today, but it is a corn plant, and it did come up out of the ground. Neither of these had any day 3 emergers, which is interesting. There was one day 2 here on the FurrowForce side, and let me see, 3 day 2s and 3 day 4s on the not FurrowForce side. One other thing I've noticed that I hope shows up on the video, especially in this corn on corn field, if you look at this row right here, so where this standing stalk is, that's the center of the planter. So these 2 rows here where the stalks are smashed, that's where the tractor tires and planter mainframe tires run. So FurrowForce is these 12 rows, other side is these 12 rows. And now the FurrowForce with the closing discs on it, they seem to kind of be working as like kind of a secondary little bit of row cleaning. So the FurrowForce side, definitely to my eye, a cleaner row. You got more trash in the row. Now maybe I should have been more aggressive with the row cleaners up front, but at planting, I thought I was doing a pretty good job. But here in corn on corn, where you can get disease with residue touching the new corn, this may be a factor. We'll see what happens. We'll have fungicide out here, I'm sure, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Definitely a cleaner furrow right here than you have over here. So we still got the whole growing season ahead of us, the whole summer into early fall to get this crop mature. Long way to go. Rain would make a lot of difference on everything. A ½ inch of rain, our whole farm would just explode with growth as dry it is. But right now, looks like FurrowForce has the advantage. We'll see what happens at harvest. We'll come back for that. So let's peel out of here, drive around the block, back to the home farm, check out that popcorn field. So here we are in the popcorn field, FurrowForce over here, not FurrowForce over here. Planted in all the wheat straw from last year. Honestly, we planted this field a little too wet, but where we were in the season, that was the time to do it. So out of 34,000, we are 100% emerged on the FurrowForce side, and looks like we got 1 day 2, 2 day 3, so we had 31 day 1s come up. A little different story on the non-FurrowForce side. So on the other side here, a total of 30 emerged, and we had what, 2 day 3s, a day 2, and a day 4. But I'm just out here today, there is one more, kind of like the other field, that came up right here. He's quite a bit smaller, so it might not become anything, but we'll flag it anyway. So that makes it 31. And we had a casualty on this day 3. We had a casualty on the FurrowForce side on this day 3. Actually, looks like maybe a critter plucked this guy out of the soil, so it's shriveled up. It's gonna die probably. Kind of stick it back in. It's pretty dry. I don't think those roots are gonna do anything. So we lost one here, so this side's 33 and this side gained 1. Now we're up to 31, although we had a lot more day 1 emergers on this side. But this is why I want to do this field scale testing. We're only representing 2/1000ths of an acre here. There's 162 popcorn acres out here. and the planter was split all the way across. In fact, we never put two different hybrids in the planter this year when we were doing corn, so the whole farm is split between FurrowForce and not, other than one farm. We did have a biological we tried in the seed tank. We put that biological in the seed tank. That was on the non-FurrowForce side, so if it has an advantage. But for the most part, corn and popcorn, the entire farm is going to be a nice test of FurrowForce. We got 12 rows of FurrowForce, 12 rows of not, and one planter pass. Combine is 12 rows wide, and I've got the varieties named such that, like, you have variety A, and then it says like variety A FurrowForce. So all my reports are going to show that easily. I won't have to keep track of it during harvest. It'll all happen automatically. So come back in 4 or 5 months and we'll have some real answers. And right now, everywhere I look, the obvious early advantage is going to FurrowForce. We got a long growing season ahead, but kudos to Precision Planting for helping me set this up and let me try this out this year, because if it doesn't do anything, I'll probably tell you that too. So we'll see, but really looks like right now the advantage early, at least in the season, goes to FurrowForce pretty handily. And I can tell that because I got those free Emergence flagging kits, which sign up for that's over now, but you'll be able to get them again next year, I'm sure. It's just a good way to test stuff on your farm. I did some stuff last year. We're comparing closing systems this year, so those flagging kits is just a great way to do that.